I'm going to refresh. All right. It says we're live, so I'm going to check.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. I see us.
All right.
I'll share it on one page too, if I can. Kind of froze up. All right. Hey, everyone. We are live again doing our live interviews. Melissa with Jacksonville Business Connections. We've been having fun interviewing local businesses and organizations and bringing all that information to you guys live on Facebook. If you guys are visiting with us, please comment or share the video. We appreciate that. And today I have with me Cathlene Miner, and she is founder and president of Hopefull Handbags, Inc. And their mission of that is raising hope and awareness of domestic violence and other detrimental situations, one filled handbag at a time. And we will definitely have Cathlene jump right in and share what her foundation is all about.
Hi, all right. Well, thank you so much for having me. So, Hopefull Handbags, it is a 501c3 corporation, so it's a nonprofit. And what we do, so the base of it is we take once loved handbags that are donated by women in the community, and we fill them with necessities and things to make women feel amazing. And we donate them to women getting back on their feet again due to domestic violence and other detrimental situations. Now, everything that is donated stays in the community that it's donated in. And I say this because we are now in 8 different states and the Caribbean. We do some in Canada, and it's just been so amazing. And we do this to raise hope. Right. So that's really the foundation of it, is the handbags. But it's so much more than the handbags, because that just opens the door for us to be able to talk about domestic violence and other things that we say women, but men go through it as well, so that we can find them help and hope and support. And what we like to do too is, another part of our mission is letting people know that there's help out there for free. So I think a lot of people think that, okay, number one, if I am in an abusive relationship and I call the hotline number, the police are going to be at my door. They're going to know. I mean, and we want to let everybody know that that's not the way it works. Okay. These hotlines are out there 24/7. They'll answer the phones, but they're there to help you. The number one priority for us and all of these organizations is to keep you safe.
Wow.
So they'll even come up with a game plan for you of how are you going to leave? How are we going to keep you safe until you do leave? So what Hopefull Handbags does is people will contact us as well, because they know what we do. And they contact us through our Facebook page, through email, or our phone number. Okay. And they'll say, I don't know what to do. And basically we help connect them to the resources that are going to help them the most in their area. And we make sure that they get that so that they can get to safety. Of course, it sounds easy, but there are quite a few little steps, and everybody has to be ready. But it's really uplifting to see this. It's really amazing to see the hope. And so we get the handbags. Right. So I'll tell you a little bit of the process. Yeah, we get these amazing handbags, and they're conducive to like going on job interviews. So we get some really nice handbags. They're all cleaned outside, inside, cleaned out, and they all get pretty much the same things inside the handbags. Okay. But what happens is some organizations can't have certain things in their bags for whatever, there's all kinds of reasons. So we make sure that when those are donated, those are not put in those particular bags. Okay. And when we fill them like we say with love, because we are thinking of who is going to receive this bag and what amazing feelings they're going to have when they get it. So there's really a whole lot of little steps and heart that goes into it. And our volunteers, we are strictly volunteer based. Everything that comes in goes right back out. So, when we get a lot of things donated to come in the bags, which we have a list on our website and things like that. And if any money ever gets donated, it goes to fill the handbags. So that's the base of how it works.
So how did you come up with the idea, and how long have you been doing this?
Okay, so I've always loved handbags. Absolutely always loved handbags anyway. And they don't even have to be designer. Like I just love handbags. Some people like shoes. I love handbags. And a friend of mine who actually is in the UK, she's in England, and we were speaking about an organization that she has where she fills bags with like sanitary products and necessities, and she donates them to women on the streets.
Okay.
And so I thought that was an awesome idea, and handbags. And so I actually kind of started dabbling in that over here, right? And I found that the need for that, at least in our areas where I pilot everything here in St. Johns County, that wasn't as needed. And I say that those things are needed, but there's so many other amazing organizations anyway that are doing these things.
Okay.
So personally, my mother grew up in a household that was a lot of domestic violence. And so I've always wondered, why do people stay with an abuser? Why? I don't understand, because I could see that as a child, even though my parents tried to keep us away from it, I could see that it wasn't healthy. There was a lot of hurt involved, all of that. And so I went and got certified to go into domestic violence centers because I wanted to find out why. And what I found out was there's no reason why. There's no one reason why. There's no one reason. And so as I started getting, doing that stuff, I realized, I know what I feel like when I get a new handbag. And so this is what I was called to do. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that one thing led to another. And that's how it got to where we give these handbags to raise hope, filled handbags to women that are survivors of domestic violence and other detrimental situations. They're getting back on their feet again, literally getting back on their feet again. And sometimes we just need that little bit of hope. I would say never underestimate the power of hope. That's what gets us over that hump, to say,
Yes.
you know what, I can do this. Or somebody to remind us that you have an entire future ahead of you. And you don't have to keep living where you are. Your past does not dictate your future. So that was the thought about 2017. So 2017 is when we started it in St. Johns County. And then as more and more people found out about it, there were other people in other states that have contacted me, and then they started in their area. And that's why I say everything that's donated stays in the area it's donated in. The only exceptions we have is if there's a county that's close to one of the counties where we have it, and they just don't get as many donations possibly for things. Right. So for here, for instance, Putnam County, we donate from here to Putnam County because they do have a domestic violence shelter there. And that's the only exception to keeping everything but it's still our community, right? They're our neighbors.
Right. And I know you said that everybody can find a list on your website. Is there any items that are specifically in need right now or low on inventory?
Well, we typically get low on hairbrushes, combs, shampoo and conditioner. Those are some things but we have a whole long list on there. And chapstick. I mean, we put basics in these bags. And then because we're giving to domestic violence and women that are getting back on their feet again, we also put makeup in the bags. Okay. So we always like to get that kind of stuff. I mean, right now, obviously we are still filling bags, and when the organizations open back up to where they can take outside deliveries, we will be donating them. So let me just give you an example. St. Johns County, we donate approximately between 30 and 50 handbags a month. Wow. To different organizations. And that's because if there's any organization, so anybody listening too, if you have an organization that's helping women getting back on their feet again, that's what we're here for. You can be on our list. We can start donating to you. And also Jacksonville. So we do donate to some of the shelters already in Jacksonville, but I would like to mention that we are looking for somebody to coordinate Jacksonville. It's a big place. We have a couple drop-off locations already. And what makes that so helpful is if we can get a drop-off location in each area of the cities that we're in, then people can just drop their handbags off at that location in that business. And it's a win-win for everybody. So we have flyers that go around, like pamphlets brochures, that's the word I'm looking for, that go out, and depending on your wherever community you're in, whoever has a drop-off location, different businesses that have drop-off locations, their logo goes on the back of the pamphlet. I don't know why I can't think of that name again, but anyway. Brochure. Oh my gosh, I'm picturing it in my head. Okay, so then their logo goes on the back, their business information. And so then we bring these and distribute them all over town. So I've had so many businesses say to me, so-and-so found out about my business because of the back of the Hopefull Handbag brochure. So that's kind of our trade-off for the businesses. If they'll be our drop-off location and have a handbag drive once a quarter. And what that means is basically they put it on their social media page. People can drop off all year, but when people see that there's a drive, they just do it then a lot of times. So that is a win-win for everybody. So if anybody's listening that has a business and has an actual physical location and would like to be a Hopefull Handbag drop-off location, they can send me an email, or you can go through the website, hopefullhandbags.org, which Hopefull has 2 L's. I always like to say that because if not, it won't get to me. It's like full of hope. And we can start working on that as well.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. And if you have a little write-up on that and what areas you're looking for in Jacksonville, we would definitely send that out to our email list and see if there's any businesses, interested in that for you.
Yeah, that would be absolutely great. And so one thing too that through the years with domestic violence and talking to the women, like I said, there's no one reason why people stay, but the one thing I found that they all have in common is a very low self-perception. So they don't think very highly of themselves, right? So self-perception is totally different than self-care. Self-care is what you do for yourself, which we need that too, right? Taking care of you, but what you think and feel about you. And so these women have and there's men, this happens to as well, either they went into the relationship already feeling that way, right? Or that violence related relationship made them get a very low self-perception of themselves. And then they don't think that they're worth anything. They figure that they deserve this, which nobody ever deserves to be abused. And so I actually went on, and because of my own past of having a low self-perception for other reasons, because we all go through this, I think, at some point in our lives. And that's why we work a whole lot on self-perception and what you think and feel about you. So I have a teen book out about that and an adult book about how to transform your self-perception. But it's all related. It's all related to how somebody feels about themselves, because your self-perception is the base of everything in your life, right? It's the base of, it dictates the chances you take, the choices you make, the relationships you stay in, and the ones that you leave, because you know you're worth more than that. And that's professionally and personally, right? I mean, sometimes even in our professional life, we have to realize, you know what? I can do more than this.
Right.
I
think that's huge.
It is. And that's where we see a lot of entrepreneurs blossom, right? Because they're like, I can do this. I can do this myself. And I can make my own business, and I can have this absolutely succeed because I know I can. And that's where that self-perception comes in. Like, do you know you can do it? Yeah, there's going to be some things you got to deal with. There's going to be obstacles. You have to have goals and things like that. But you also have to learn that you've got it in you and go with the flow in some way, which we could talk for a long time about that, because I think a lot of people get confused about things like that. But back to Hopefull Handbags and the survivors of domestic violence and other detrimental situations, they literally and figuratively have been beaten down, and they do not think they can do much at all. So these handbags, the light up that gets on their face and they get all excited, that's raising their energy vibrations right there, right? I mean, even if it's for a minute, it's better than it was before. And the way we look at it at Hopefull Handbags is it opens their flow. It starts opening the flow so that other amazing things start coming in, because they start to change that process in their head and start thinking differently.
How long does that process usually take to fully change over?
To start having a healthy self-perception and know that, So it's actually work like every day. So the book, for instance, is called the 30-Day Self-Perception Makeover. You will definitely notice a difference in 30 days, but it is an ongoing thing, right? I always like to compare it to exercise. If I exercise for 30 days and I decide I'm not going to do it anymore, I'm not going to feel the same and I'm not going to look the same.
Right.
So it's that work that we have to do on ourselves. And this kind of work is truly for you. But the thing that's awesome about it is it comes out into everything around you. Your kids start seeing and feeling a difference because you are on a different level. You know, the people that you work with or the people that work beside you, your family. And there's so much that goes into it, but it all really starts with you. And then the other things on the outside start to fall into place. So
Absolutely.
how long? Yeah. I mean, I always like to say a good 30 days, you'll start noticing a huge difference, but you do have to, it's ongoing like anything else, right? Just like a business, you have
Right.
to make sure you keep up with that, right? You have to check all your stuff, make sure that you're consistent and this is what you do.
And
It's
are
the
you
same thing with
offering
ourselves.
these classes? Are you doing any of this virtually, like webinars or trainings online?
So what we're doing is meaning me, I, I say we because sometimes I do have somebody that helps me with the putting it on the website. Let's just say that, right? We all have our things that we're great at, right? I learned a lot, but okay. So we're getting ready to start one in a Facebook group. And I did this at the very beginning before I even launched the books and before I even wrote them. What I did is I had a trial group. I had a trial Facebook group of 400 women
Wow.
that did the 30-day self-perception makeover because I knew it worked for me. And I have been personal training women from the inside out for over 28 years. So I knew that it worked for my clients, but I wanted to see, okay, I put this all together now. What do people think?
Right.
And it was such an amazing response. So then I was like, yes, okay, because I want to put something out there that I know is going to work. What I'm getting at though is now I'm going to be going in and I'm going to be going live myself to bring people bring it on a 2 week. So they're going to do 2 weeks of it
Okay.
and see that way they can start to see the difference.
Right.
Like anything else, if you start to see a difference, you're going to start flowing with that.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, so to get onto that, you can just go to cathleneminer.com and we can put a link on that in the Hopeful Handbags page as well. And
Yeah,
then we'll be
absolutely.
notifying everybody when that comes out. And that's totally free because I believe too that in this time right now, especially everybody's inside and not only are people getting stir crazy, sometimes we just need to have a little bit of hope, right? Start something
Mhm.
new, try something new. Not that everybody has a whole bunch of time. I totally get it. I get it. Um, but if we can help anybody, let's just go for it and do it. Back to Hopeful Handbags, which is all related, but I do want to say that there has been a huge increase in domestic violence right now. And that is because a lot of people are home. And usually the survivors that are living with these domestic violence people, they are able to get away, right? They're either going away to
Right.
work or the significant other is going away to work and they're not having that. So a lot of the domestic violence shelters are at capacity right now, which is kind of where we've been a lot on the phone, myself and some of my volunteers finding places for people. Because some domestic violence centers, they have maybe they have other places that these people can go, right?
Okay.
If they don't have space, but it does take some lots of calls. So what I'm saying this for is if somebody does feel like they're in danger or they're ready to get out, they just can't do it anymore. If they contact us, and if it's not us, reach out to your local domestic violence shelter. And even if you're not here locally, we can team you up with people that can help you in your area. So just be aware of that. And the kids are having to deal with this too. The kids that aren't usually home all the time, usually that's their getaway as well, is
Right.
when they go to school, and that's not happening. And so there are a lot of kids out there that aren't getting taught right now, and it's not because the parent that's supposed to be helping can't do it. I mean, it's just they really can't do it because they're trying to survive. They're just
Right.
trying to survive, and that's it. And if they can survive, yes, and stay safe. um
Do you have
so yeah.
plans for another women's expo? I saw the one you did last time and I wanted to get to it and I wasn't able to. And I'm like, I hope she does it again because I want to commit to being a part of it.
Yes, and you definitely will be. We're doing it in 2021. It was a huge success. We were just overwhelmed. Even the energy in that room was amazing. Like
Wow.
everybody that volunteered, everybody that had a business or a nonprofit there, and the guests that came. We were pleasantly surprised it was full. It was packed.
Wow.
And we actually, the first 2 weeks, we ran out of spaces for businesses to be a part of it,
That's
and which
amazing.
was a blessing. However, we really wanted to get people in, but we also had only a certain amount of space, like literally physical space that we could have people
Right.
in. So oh my gosh. And we had people that I interviewed on stage that told inspiring stories. So the base of that is surrounded with Hopefull Handbags, which is bringing women together in the communities, whatever community you're in, bringing the women together in the communities to see what other women are doing, be inspired by other women, and inspire other women, and realize that they can do it. And we also bring nonprofits in. So we had nonprofits on the stage telling us, what are they all about? Because sometimes we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. We hear of it, but we don't understand truly what they do. And I have met so many amazing people that run these nonprofits and just all over. And it's just so heartwarming. And let me just mention another thing. So we've also formed a group there. I'm the co-founder of a group called St. John's Nonprofit Circle. I always want to say I get that in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
So Aubrey Simpson Gotham and I, so she's the founder of Bostonarian Connection St. John's, we formed a group so that nonprofits come together and start to collaborate. And it has been amazing. So if anybody's listening that has a nonprofit and you want to be a part of this, we did this because we found a couple of things. One, some of us don't know what each other are doing. And we may be overlapping, or if I know what so-and-so is doing, that I know that if somebody comes to me and it's not anything that we do or not anything that we could use, I know who can, type
Right.
person. And we also help and volunteer whenever it's necessary. And we also share out each other's things on social media so that we can get out to more people so that they can see what services are available. So for instance, Epic Cure is a nonprofit in town. They rescue food from the grocery stores. Super busy right now, busier than they've ever been.
Yes.
And they typically feed 350 families with groceries. They grocery shop for free, these families. It's over 600 now a week.
Wow.
And that's because a lot of people are out of work. So we also are now delivering to seniors that can't get out of the house, that feel that it's unsafe to go to the grocery store. So when we found out about this, then Hopefull Handbags, and we were like, okay, let us help you. So now we're delivering those meals and we're arranging the volunteers and things like that. So this is how the nonprofits can come together and help each other. And then we can help more people. So if anybody's interested in that, just let me know. It's just an amazing group of men and women, and it's growing all the time. And we just want to always remind people that nonprofits are like, nobody's in competition with each other, even in business.
No.
Like there's enough to go around.
Right.
And
everybody has the unique stamp on everything.
They do. But sometimes other people, not everybody looks at it that way.
I know.
I mean, we've all probably run into that.
Yes.
I know that I have, in business and in nonprofit world. And it's just that's not the way we think about it. Collaboration is key. And so that's exactly what we're all about with Hopefull Handbags and with the St. John's Nonprofit Circle Group, and also with the self-perception stuff. We just want everybody work together.
Absolutely.
And help when we can.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that I don't know, I don't think I even shared with you, and I joined your nonprofit circle because I'm in works of starting the nonprofit, the Great Community Give Back. And so what that would be is bringing all the nonprofits together. Like I always do all my events at the Renaissance. So we would just have it like almost like a vendor show, but it would be all nonprofits. And we would invite the community to come and almost like, hey, we know you want to volunteer. We know you want to get involved. Here's the perfect chance to meet 30 plus nonprofits and find out how you can help and bring it all together at one huge event. And we have that actually, the actual like nonprofit of it, it's on hold because of everything's kind of on a hold up of processing the paperwork
Right.
of it. But in terms of the event and moving forward with it, we are doing it November 22nd at the Renaissance. So I'm just getting all that, the ends together, and I've already talked to Aubrey and all these great things, but we definitely would love to have you involved because we want to bring as many nonprofits together under one roof and promote it out
Yeah.
to the community.
Okay. That sounds like a
Yeah.
deal. All
Yeah.
working together. I love it. Love it. Because we always together we're stronger. I mean, that is what it is. We are
Right.
just we all are unique. We have our own gifts too. And something you can I'm learning all the time. And that's what I love. I mean, just by talking to you, I'm learning things. And that's why it's so important to
And, we've
collaborate
been
and talk.
doing, oh yeah, absolutely. We've been doing, events for 8 years now. And I just started thinking about it all. We probably have such small involvement from nonprofits coming and setting up a tent or having a vendor table and sharing. We get, hundreds and thousands of people that come out to our events, and I'm not seeing that presence in nonprofits. So I'm hoping of also, sending that message of not just this one huge, the great community give back. I want nonprofits to start attending our other events and seeing that, they can be spreading the word that way too. And we
Mhm.
hope that the nonprofit, if we start raising money for that, we want to put the funds towards being able to have the vendors, just the nonprofit vendors, come and set up and at no charge and be able to share to the community when we have our outdoor events, our indoor events. We get so many opportunities for everybody to share their business.
Yeah, and it'd be great for the nonprofits to do the same thing.
Yep.
And then there's so many people that want to volunteer, but they don't know what's available to volunteer for. And
Mhm.
I know for us, even just a little bit of help sometimes. It depends on what event's coming up.
Definitely.
Let's
Yeah,
do
I'm
it.
super excited about that event.
Yeah, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else that you want to share about Helpful Handbags?
Oh my gosh, just if anybody's listening and you're in need of help or you know somebody that is, reach out and let us know for sure. If you have an organization that's helping women getting back on their feet again and you want to sign up to receive the donations, then let's talk. Let's see how we can make that work. And if you want to be a drop-off location and you're listening from Jacksonville or any of the surrounding areas, to be quite honest with you, Flagler County, I mean, whatever, drop-off locations and coordinators are what we're looking for so that we can keep spreading hope. That's our goal. It's to spread hope to women getting back on their feet again. That's it. And yeah, all the help, we can all work together just like we're doing and going to make this it's an amazing community, but we can always keep moving forward and
Absolutely.
helping.
And I don't know if you can see on your end the comments. I don't know what
No,
the application looks like, but Dabs McInnes, she commented saying that she'd be interested in seeing if she's would be a good drop-off location in Jacksonville.
yes, and yeah, I see them now. You don't have to be a nonprofit to be a drop-off location. Drop-off locations are mainly, you can be, but for businesses so that they can get back on my page here. Okay, for businesses so that they can get their people that are coming in there, right? Their clients, their customers to see it, and then they remember, oh, I can go and drop off my bag here or fill for the bag. So it's also fill for the bags. And then we can get your information on the back of the brochures that get distributed and then people will know about your business. So
They
there's our
make
win-win. No, definitely.
they're a bakery, so they do a lot of cakes, cookies.
Oh,
I
that
think they
sounds
do
fun.
cooking classes, so that might be a good fit.
That would be oh yeah, awesome fit. So yeah, so all you have to do is go to hopefullhandbags.org and when you hit contact and just say I'm interested, in the drop-off location in Jacksonville, I get those emails. So I'll be the one getting it and answering all of them.
Awesome.
So
Thanks, Dabs.
yeah.
And I see Aubrey joined us and
Hey,
Amy. Cool.
Aubrey. I can't, yeah, I have the other, yeah, okay, perfect. I can see myself again. See where we are.
I
But
see.
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah,
This
definitely.
has been so awesome.
Yeah. Well, I always tell, like, and after I'll be messaging you, like, because there's so many things that we still can work on together.
Yeah. Oh, we will. We definitely will be.
And then I
Love it.
also tell people if there's ever something specific, let's say an event or a need, we can just jump on a live and share it with people. It doesn't have to be, scheduled. So if you ever need anything, just message me and we can get it out to our followers and
I
help you
would
out.
love that because that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
You get a phone call. They say, "This is what we need." I'm on it. I'm on it. So that'd be
definitely.
awesome.
Yep. Just let us know. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you,
You
everybody.
too. Bye.
Bye.